everyone, it's Meg and today I'm going to be sharing with you guys my most anticipated releases for 2020. This is the first video that I am officially filming in 2020 apart from a weekend reading vlog which I'm also filming over this weekend. But it is really exciting. I'm so excited to be getting back into doing some content and also all these New Year videos as well. First of all, I want to point out if you feel like the lighting is different, that is because I'm using a softbox, as it is like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, so technically it should be pretty light, but it has been dark, like so ridiculously dark outside, so I'm trying a softbox, so hope the lighting is somewhat okay, even though like I am not all about this light because they are a pain. But anyway, hopefully it is somewhat okay, so then I can start filming some videos. So when I was doing the research for this video, I was watching other people's anticipated releases and looking on Goodreads, and I've actually compiled quite a few. I think there's like 16 books here, and I'm looking forward to most of them, as I don't feel like I had that many last year, but I seem to have quite a few this year, which I'm really excited to share with you guys. And since there's quite a few, I'm not going to go through them in depth. I'm just going to see the synopsis and all that stuff. So yes, I'm really excited to share these with you guys. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So the sensible thing to do here would be to do them during each month, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to do it on literally the list that I have on Goodreads because it's just easier. So the first book that I have on this list is Nothing Ever Happens Here by Sarah Hager-Holt, and this comes out on the 9th of February. I believe this is a middle grade novel, like correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it is. And this is basically about a girl named Izzy, and her dad comes out as a transgender woman. And it's basically, from what I gather on this synopsis, about Izzy coming to terms with that and her family, and she doesn't know like what's going to happen to her parents. Are they going to stay together? What are people at school going to say? And it seems like a really interesting novel. I've never really read much middle grade. I would definitely like to read some more, maybe over the next year. I would really love to do that. And also this is an LGBTQ plus book and a very unique concept, because I've never heard of a book talking about like a parent being transgender. It's generally been like the kids. But I'm really looking forward to this book. I definitely want to pick it up. I feel like it's going to be a very important book, especially for kids who are of that age of reading middle grade. And yes, I'm really looking forward to it. Next book that I have on this list is Wonderland by Juno Dawson, which comes out on the 28th of June. I have never read a Juno Dawson book. I really want to. I know she has quite a few books out now, like Clean and Meat Market, two books that I really want to read. And I know that Juno tends to cover topics that are more serious and topics that bring up a lot of discussion. So again, I don't know a lot about this book, but from the title, obviously it is kind of an Alice in Wonderland retelling, and I had looked through the synopsis, but the bottom bit that I will read to you, it says it's a searing exploration of mental health, gender and privilege from the most addictive YA novelist in the UK today. So that is all I need to know, like mental health and like gender identity and LGBTQ+, like that is everything that I would want in a book, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what I think of it. I may end up getting to one of Juno's books before June, like hopefully I do, because I really want to read some of her work, but I'm hoping that she will become one of my new favourite authors, as I'm really wanting to read more British UK YA this year, because I feel like it's something that I need to do, something that I want to do. So again, another book that I'm really looking forward to, and hopefully Juno will become one of my new favourite authors. Next up we have Felix Ever After by Kaysen Calendar, and this is meant to come out on the 12th of May, and I know some people have this on their TBRs as well, and there wasn't a publication date, but at the moment on Goodreads it says 12th of May, so hopefully that is when it's going to be coming out. The cover gripped me with this. It is such a stunning cover, and it seems like an absolutely wonderful story about a transgender boy, and I don't know much about it apart from that. He's called Felix, obviously, because of the name, and I feel like it's kind of a coming of age story, figuring out identity and all that sort of thing, quite like a lot of the other books that I've mentioned in this video already, and it just seems like so much fun. Again, I'm really looking forward to reading it again, and yes, really cannot wait. I'm going to be repeating myself a lot in this video, aren't I? Next up we have Love is for Losers by an author, I'm going to try and pronounce her name, Wibke Bruggeman, and this is meant to be released on the 14th of July. I originally heard about this book because it was one of the BookBox Club anticipated releases of the year, and it just seemed really interesting because it was one of the arcs that they were going to be giving out. I didn't get that arc, I got another one, but I still love the one that I got. And it is described as, think of this as Bridget Jones's diary if it were written by Bridget's daughter. Like, is that not enough to pull you into this book? Like, I love Bridget Jones, and yes, like, I have to read this book. Like, it just seems like a really cute coming-of-age rom-com story that is totally Bridget Jones inspired. I'm totally here for that, so I'm definitely going to be picking this up when it comes out in the summer. The next book on this list is My Summer of Love and Misfortune by Lindsay Wong, which comes out on the 5th of May, I believe. Yes, the 5th of May. This seems a little bit like Love Boat Taipei, which has just come out very recently, and it's a story of a Chinese-American teen who is thrust into the decadent world of Beijing high society when she is sent away to spend a summer in China. So basically it's about our main character Iris, who goes to spend her summer in China. And I think she's had a bit of a rough start to the summer, and her parents have sent her off to kind of try and change that and pick her up again. But I think it's not, she thinks it's going to be very cultural, but it's not quite how it seems. But yeah, this just seems like a really fun summer, like, romance, finding yourself sort of summary book. So I felt this would be a great book to read during the summer. Next up we have another middle grade novel, which is How to Make Friends with the Sea by Tanya Guriaku. I'm really bad at pronouncing names, aren't I? Like, wow. And this comes out on the 31st of March. This book got me from the cover, because the cover is so lovely, and I believe this is about a boy who travels around with his mum. I think she's a zoologist, I believe, and he is scared of the ocean. That's kind of all I know, and I feel like the idea of it being set in a tropical place and the sea is the main part, or the ocean, like, I love the ocean with all my heart, so I think this is going to be a really cute, fun novel, and also maybe some kind of like environmental sort of stuff put into there, which I feel like is important, especially for younger generations to learn about. So yes, hopefully I can pick this up at some point and I will enjoy it. Next up we have Turtles Under Ice by Julia Di Rosario. Hopefully I said that right again, which comes out on the 11th of February. The main reason why I am looking forward to this book is because it is written in verse, and I really want to read more books in verse this year. They just, like, after reading The Poet X, I want to read as many books written in verse as possible. And the synopsis, what I remember of this book, like, doesn't totally grab me, but I feel like the reviews are good, and I'm just, seems like something that might surprise me. All I know is that it seems to be about some sisters, and then one of them disappears, and their mother has previously passed away, and that's kind of all I know about it, and kind of all I want to know. So yeah, again, really want to read more books in verse this year, so hopefully this will be one that I can add to my favourites list. The next book on this list is We Are Totally Normal by Rahul Kanakia. Wow, sorry, really bad at that. Which comes out on the 31st of March. Again, this is a book that I don't know masses about, but it's basically about a boy who is in his junior year of high school and he wants to make it perfect, and then one day at a party he ends up hooking up with a guy, this makes him really confused. But I feel like this is a book, again, it's going to be about sexuality and discovering yourself and a coming of age story, and I'm all about those at the moment, so again this is another book that I'm obviously looking forward to, like all the other books on this list. Next up we have Harley in the Sky by Akemi Dawn Bowman, which comes out on the 10th of March. This is another book, like majority on here, that I don't know much about, but all I know is that this is about a circus, and this girl, I'm guessing she's called Harley, is a circus performer and her parents are part of a circus as well, and I think she runs away to another circus, and kind of that's all I need to know because circuses are fab. So yeah, again, like looking forward to it, like all the other ones. Next up we have Time of Our Lives by Emily Wibberley and Austin Siegemann Boker, and this comes out on the 21st of April. I have wanted to read the debut novel of this author duo for a while now, since Hayley and Booklang talked about it. I can't remember what it's called. Almost Never Yours, I think that's the title of it. And must admit, I don't really know much what this book is about. The other books have been Shakespeare retellings, and I don't know if this is a Shakespeare retelling or not. I just know it's about a girl named Juniper and a boy named Fitz, and kind of they both have their own struggles in life, and then one day their paths cross and I'm guessing a romance happens, and it just sounds like a really cute fun book with also kind of a deeper meaning at the same time, which sounds really good. So yes, really looking forward to that, and hopefully I can get to it, and also their other book as well, because that seems to be the one that definitely jumps out to me the most at the moment. Next up we have probably my most anticipated release for the year, or like very, very close, but that is the 24-Hour Cafe by Libby Page, and there isn't a release date on here. They seem to, it says 23rd of February, but I believe it's like 21st or 24th of January, something along those lines. I heard from a little writer Em talk about this book in her anticipated releases video a few weeks ago, and oh my god, as soon as I heard her talk about it, I knew I needed to read it. So this is basically, all I know is that it's about a cafe which is open 24 hours, and it's like a slice of life, so it is where you get to experience what goes on in the cafe over a 24-hour period, and it's about these two waitresses that work there and kind of about their hopes and dreams and struggles and kind of maybe feeling a bit lost in life. And like that just screams to me, because I work in a cafe and I feel like I might be able, or hopefully will be able, to relate to the main characters that are in this book, and just oh my god, I'm so excited. I really hope this book doesn't let me down, otherwise I might cry. But yes, so excited, and I'm definitely going to be getting my hands on this book as soon as it comes out. Like, oh, I cannot wait. Next up we have Lovelace by Alice Oseman, which comes out on the 9th of July, I think. Yes, the 9th of July, and this is also probably one of my most anticipated releases of the year. This was meant to originally come out in April, but they pushed it back. But I'm so excited for this book. I'm so excited to have a new novel from Alice, and I don't know much. Like, you can read the synopsis. It is about a girl named Georgie who feels, or Georgia, I think, who feels loveless in the romantic sense anyway. She's 18, never been in a relationship or even had a crush on a single person in her whole life. She thinks she's an anomaly. Wow, words. People call her weird and she feels a little broken, but she still adores romance, weddings, fan fiction, happily ever afters. She knows she will find her person one day, right? And it says it is a journey of identity, self-acceptance, and finding out how many different types of love there really are, and that no one is really loveless after all. I'm just really excited to have another Alice book, and we get 2 Alice books this year, which is really exciting because we also get the 3rd volume of Heartstopper, which comes out on the 6th of March. And again, one of my most anticipated releases for the year. I've already pre-ordered it, and Lovelace as well, both signed copies, and like, I'm just so excited to be back with these boys. And I loved the first 2 volumes. I loved the first one, the second one was even better, so like, can it get even better in the 3rd one? Like, I guess we're going to have to find out, aren't we? It actually said, I know I said 6th of March before, but it's actually 6th of February. It's because for some reason it's decided to screw it up on Goodreads, but 6th of February because like your girl cannot wait until that long to get this next instalment. Next up we have a book that is very mysterious, but you can bet your ass that I'm going to be reading it. And that is Gail Honeyman's second novel, which is meant to be coming out on the 2nd of April. Now, Gail Honeyman is the author of Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine, which is one of my favourite books of last year, one of my favourite books of all time. And this is extremely mysterious because there is no title, there is no cover, there is no synopsis on Goodreads at all for what this book is about, and it's meant to come out in like 3 months, something like that. So it's very, very mysterious, but hopefully it is actually going to happen unless they're going to do some sort of fancy reveal. But I'm definitely going to be reading it because, like I said, I love Eleanor Oliphant with all my heart. And I'm really interested to see what Gail is going to be writing about next, what her next book is going to be. So yeah, I'm definitely going to read it, but definitely a mysterious release as we literally know nothing about it so far. Next up we have My Calamity Jane, which is written by Cynthia Hand, Brodie Ashton and Jodie Meadows, and this is meant to come out on the 2nd of June. This has become kind of a series, and I know there was My Lady Jane, My Plain Jane, which was a retelling of Jane Eyre. The first one was one of Henry VIII's wives. I've forgotten, wow, choices. And this is about Calamity Jane, and if you didn't know, I love Calamity Jane, as I love the musical of it. Calamity did used to be a real person, which is what the musical is based on, and I'm guessing they have based this book on the story of the real life Calamity Jane. And I don't know anything about this book, I don't want to know, I've not even looked at the synopsis, but I'm just really looking forward to it because, like I said, I love Calamity Jane. I'm hoping there will be some aspects that I recognise, maybe from the musical, maybe a bit of the storyline, but yeah, really looking forward to it, as I've never really been that interested in reading the other books from this series. They just personally follow characters that I'm not that interested in, but yeah, hopefully I will get to really enjoy this book. And yeah, I'm just so excited. Like, we are finally getting a book about Calamity Jane. Like, what could be better than that? And last but by no means least on this list, we have Clap When You Land by Elizabeth Azevedo, which comes out on the 5th of May. Elizabeth has quickly become one of my favourite authors. I read both The Poet X and With the Fire and High last year, both loved them. Poet X is 100% my favourite, and Clap When You Land is another novel of hers written in verse, and I don't know much about it like a majority of these books, but I know it's about two sisters who do not know each other exists, as they both have the same father, and then one day their father is in a plane crash, I believe, and then they kind of find out about each other and connect, and I'm guessing it's a way for them to deal with their grief, but that's kind of the basics of all I know about the story. And I must admit, the synopsis doesn't grip me quite as much as the Poet X did, but it's my anticipated releases because, again, I love Elizabeth's book. She is one of my favourite authors, and I'm really excited to see what her second book written in verse is going to be like. I hope it's going to tug at my heartstrings and just leaving me destroyed in all the best ways possible, like the Poet X did. But hopefully this book is going to surprise me and it will be added to one of my favourite books of all time. So there you have it, guys. Those are my most anticipated releases for 2020. I feel like there are quite a few. I'm definitely not going to get to all of them because I was rather rubbish at getting to new releases last year, but I definitely want to try and get to some of them this year. Let me know in the comments what are some of your anticipated releases for 2020. Do you have any of them that are on my list? Are there any books that you are really interested in that I don't know about? Let's kind of start a conversation about what we love, and then we can add new books to each other's lists, because I feel like, and I have to agree with a lot of people, that there seems to be a lot more interesting releases this year compared to last year, which is so exciting because we love lots of good releases, lots of new books. So yeah, let me know in the comments what some of your most anticipated releases for the year. If you like this video, then please make sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you like seeing more bookish videos from me, then make sure you hit that subscribe button and little bell icon so you'll be noted every time I post a new video. As always, I will leave the links to my social media along with the links to my Goodreads in the description down below for you guys. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you again very soon. Bye!